What is up, YouTube? We're glad you guys have joined us. We are getting set up and ready to go. And these two are just losing it over something. Maybe I should. Maybe I should.
I don't know what you're doing.
I probably
over there,
shouldn't know what it is.
You gotta stop licking the mic.
I was. It wasn't that extreme.
You looked it.
I had my little pre-show ritual.
Oh gosh, I don't know if I want to know.
Well,
No, I don't want to know then. All right, I'm ready. Jake, let me know when you've sent out your.
I'm feeling kind of lazy. I don't think I'm going to do it.
Okay, you're not
Let's
sending
just
it
go.
out to your fan club.
Wait.
No, really. I mean, like seriously, do you want me to just go for this or not? In case you're tuning in, yes, this is for the post race for. The
I almost
Iowa
started
race.
sending people the wrong YouTube post
Dude,
race.
how much have you had?
Nothing. It's just I'm just tired, bro. I've been up since 4:30.
Well, let me know when you're.
at 4:30.
Bro, why is it? Hey, this ain't even. Oh, there it is. There it goes. There it
Oh
goes.
my gosh!
Hey, man.
Do you know our name? It's the
going,
Here for
bro.
the Speed podcast.
I know.
Listen, you're not the oldest. You
I'm
can't be
subscribed
the
and it wasn't
grandpa
showing up.
first.
Subscribed.
I'm sorry. What?
You can't be the grandpa first. How do you work this technology?
No, DJ is the grandpa, bro.
I don't know.
No.
You're the one
I mean,
who
you're
doesn't know how
not
to
wrong.
work a phone.
You're out of line, man. But you're right. But like, no.
Look, man, y'all suck. That's the end of the story.
All right. Let me know when you.
Whatever. Let's
B.
go.
All right, here we go. Ryan Blaney wins at his home track at the first running at Iowa Speedway. Many drivers have issues, and guess what? So did our fantasy picks. We are here for the speed. I'm glad to be here with you guys. I am joined by
Jake, the Ross Chastain fan that nobody likes. I'm probably his only fan now.
after today, probably.
He proceeded to run into everybody. So
Yeah.
Yep, and it's Matthew over here, the local RFK fan, Brad Kozlowski fan, and sad Chris Buescher fan.
You know, today was a roller
It was
coaster of
all over the
emotions for the RFK guys. Overall, I mean, that was Iowa. Yeah, you think that they wanted us to know that there was a lot of corn in Iowa?
Everything was focused around corn.
bro, the amount of corn stuff.
Everything. They were selling corn. The checker flag was corn. They're eating corn on TV as we speak. The trophy is
Are they
made
just
out of
eating
corn.
raw corn?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
That's awesome.
But man, there's no doubt about it. They grow
He is
corn.
legit just holding an ear
He's
of corn.
just holding corn. It's kind of wild. I'm
He
about
really
it though.
is.
Hey, you know what?
He's
You
just
know
like
what?
he's like there with the trophy. He's just like, get my corn.
Back off. Nobody touches my trophy.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. At least every place kind of has like a little bit of a thing. Like I kind of like it. It's kind of unique. But it was just like, okay, we get it. Field of Dreams, corn. Like,
Well, I will tell you, I have family that lives in Iowa, not far from the racetrack.
Do they eat corn?
Bro, it's nothing but cornfields. They own corn farms. Like there's
Big
nothing.
surprise.
There's nothing there but corn. I mean, you can drive literally like 2 hours one way and drive through nothing but cornfields.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot of corn.
Yeah, Field of Dreams, bro.
It's corny.
if you build it, they'll
I'm
come.
still looking for the racetrack.
If they build it, Ryan Blaney will win.
I haven't found the baseball field over there yet.
Yeah. So our overall, let's jump straight into the race. Let's do a rating. I'll start. Man, gosh, I said I would start, and I don't even know what I'm going to pick. I'd say a 7.5. 7.5. Oh yeah.
Wow, you're fired as producer.
Listen,
Not
So 7.5.
We don't have a
I was going to say, do y'all know how to do this?
7.5.
7.5.
I think it was better. I'm going to give it like I'm going to go with an 8.6.
8.6.
8.6.
You with the weird random.
He's always got to
That's
put a
not-
6 on it, bro.
You know what? That's
My
my point.
thing. I think it was an 8.6. There was a lot of really good racing in the race. There's a lot of passing. For the expectations, I think walking into this, one, it being a wild card, and then they threw, we're just going to pave half of it. I think everyone expected this to be just an absolute snoozer, which it wasn't. So I was really, really happy and relieved that was not the case.
Yeah.
There's a few things I didn't care for, which that's kind of why it's at an 8.6. But Jake, what do you think?
I'll give it an 8.1.
Wow.
How about that?
Freaking snoozer.
An 8.61. No, I'd give it right around an 8. I thought it was pretty good. I was
fair.
really, really nervous about the whole tire test and the way they repaved everything, like it wasn't sounding great. Like passing was going to be super hard, and then obviously with practice, we saw a lot of tire failures. It's hard to tell, like, is there passing in practice? Like, it's hard to tell who's letting who go, waiting for clean air. Like, it's hard to tell. But man, I thought they could pass like a lot. Like, it seemed like really good. It seemed like Blaney was just faster than Byron. It wasn't like Byron was catching Blaney and then caught up in dirty air. Like, it was like a straight up just Byron or Blaney was faster than Byron. Like, that's all it was.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there was a ton of passing. We saw Kyle Larson come from like 30-something up to 5th or 4th. I mean, that was crazy, man. That was awesome.
Like 32nd up to,
it was a lot.
5th.
That doesn't happen at Richmond.
No.
That's not going to happen in Martinsville. So, like, obviously this track is doing something right. Like, I think it's like a sweet spot where it's still really big and really fast, which like the next gen car seems to really like kind of thrive on. So that's pretty awesome. I don't know. It's pretty magical. I really think like if you don't have to pay the rest of it, leave it alone.
Yeah.
Just let it sit.
Yeah.
At least, give it a few more runs.
The really fast corners mixed with the really big bumps on the front straightaway made the track really interesting. Or if they are going to repave it, they should definitely pull an SMI, a Speedway Motorsports, new innovative technology.
Oh, proprietary
paving
technology.
That way they can leave the character into the racetrack. "Quote unquote," don't fix anything, basically.
Yeah. Just,
Or not "quote unquote," but
just get out there with some spray
basically.
paint.
Yeah,
some black spray paint.
So my biggest like, there you go.
Proprietary
Brand
technology. It's just Flex Seal. The whole thing.
They rhino linered it.
Yeah.
No, I honestly, I really, really do like wish, like honestly, like for real, like we saw something with Sonoma, and we saw something with North Wilkesboro. There actually is something to the kind of half-baked paving job. Like,
yeah.
know what
There
I
really
mean?
is.
Because like I mean, I remember when they repaved Charlotte, and that track sucked for a decade.
Yeah.
You know, like the only tracks that like really, really do well with a really good, high quality, high dollar paving is like a Daytona, a Talladega, Atlanta. I'm good with it there. The rest of these tracks leave a bunch of character into it because like the more
Yeah.
character, the better the racing is.
Oh yeah, it makes each track have its own neat feel kind of to it.
100%.
My biggest like thing
Just to hit on that, like the bumps in Charlotte and the bumps in Kansas, completely different.
or then there's
Same
there's
shape, but completely
and
different.
then there's the bumps at North Wilkesboro that are canyons basically.
yeah, those
down
are a
and
little
forth.
extreme. They should probably fix them.
maybe fix that, but leave a little bump there.
Yeah, but you can't even grind through the asphalt because you're going to quickly hit the original layer.
Or you're gonna find the moonshine still
Yeah,
underneath the place. No, my biggest complaint to be honest, yeah, I think the race was great. I think other than Bristol, probably the best short track race we've had this year. And Bristol was a happy accident, so I don't know. Otherwise, this is
we
probably
were there
the best
too.
one.
Does that change your bias? Because
I
we were there
wasn't.
and able to see it. Oh no,
No, I wasn't
forgot
there.
about that part.
That's okay.
All right.
So no, it doesn't change my bias as a single bit. No, but my thing was like they even said it on the broadcast was the time difference between these drivers that were out for like 70 laps and the guys coming out was not massive. So the fall off overall was not great, but the grip level was changing, and I think
Yeah,
the fall
the
off
tires were overheating.
yeah
They were getting so hot and so slick,
yeah.
or
So
developing blisters in some spots.
that is something I'd like to see him address where there is still more fall off, but that's
So-
what we're saying every
to
race.
me, if you can, okay, maybe because Goodyear's gone green, right? We cannot have a true good rubbery, just gummy tire like the old days or like some other brands run today. But maybe if you just have a tire that has a ton of degradation and basically just kind of starts to fall apart, you know what I mean? Without ultimately failing, you can show some chords and start losing some grip that way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like back in the day in Gen 6, if you showed chords, like you were literally a corner, 2 corners away from blowing a corner and hitting the fence real hard. But like this car is kind of different. Like it seems like we can show a lot of chords and you can run a lot of laps with chords, and
Yeah.
you just start losing a lot. I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's like a good medium. Like
Maybe.
where Goodyear can check their green boxes they need to. And then at the same time, we can still get a really good tire that has a lot of fall off and creates for some really dynamic racing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were trying to figure out what tire they were actually running on this.
So
because
confusing, bro.
I heard it was the option tire at North Wilkesboro, the red tire, when they ran the red tire. Jake's like, no, it was the primary tire from that race. So
The prime tire.
the prime
Not
tire.
the primary. They call it the prime. I don't know if it's the same, but it's like, why wouldn't you call it primary? They just
Maybe
call it
their
the
short
prime.
track regular. I don't. There's
I don't know,
too
it's
many
very
options
confusing.
now. So
Yeah.
I'm still up there with I don't know what tire they ran, but I thought it was a good tire. My complaint, and kind of why I kept it at like an 8.6 was the highest. I thought this race was a lot better in the day. I feel like
Yes.
this race starting 2 hours earlier, total game changer.
That's just a NASCAR
Maybe an
thing.
hour earlier.
Besides like super speedways, like, you know, ultimately like just stock car racing is better in the sunlight.
But it's rare that I say that because I like a lot of the nighttime races, like the Daytona night race.
Okay,
is
that's just a
amazing.
super speedway.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I missed that.
Excludes super speedways, right? Excludes super speedway.
Darlington's good at night.
But it's typically better in the day. Typically the start of that race is better than the finish.
Maybe.
That's debatable.
Maybe. I would say the Coke 600 at night's still very entertaining.
I would say that. I
You
would
know?
agree.
There's a
with
few.
Coke
There's a
600.
few. You know, I don't want
I
to
mean,
go.
we don't do a ton of night races anyway, so
But I felt like this one would benefit with maybe an hour to start ahead. Just that.
Yeah.
I felt like the hotter
The-
track, the
yesterday-
sun on the track, game changer compared to at night because at night it was pretty much all stage 3, and it wasn't super exciting. There was very cookie cutter, very cut and clean.
Yeah.
Once they got to their pit window, there was a little Chris Buescher hit the wall. They all came down pitted. Handful of guys picked 2 tires. Handful picked 4. 2-tire call was, I think, the call to make. That made
Yeah.
the most sense. And yeah, I mean that's how the story wrote.
I
That's-
think
Blaney won.
yesterday's start time for the Xfinity race was perfect.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. That 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. I mean, I get it. It's Father's Day. There's a whole bunch of
I get that too.
there's a whole
Yeah.
bunch of stuff going on. They're trying to get that. Kids are going to bed. 7 o'clock start. End by 10. Dad goes to bed. I get it. I'm just-
honestly, like I mean,
I think a
considering
5
we,
o'clock start would be better.
considering we were all hanging out and everything, like I mean, did make today better. I think because man,
yeah,
if, can you
personally
imagine?
for us, yes.
Yeah, can you imagine like if we were having to like pay attention to the race like at 3?
No,
and
we
stuff?
wouldn't. We wouldn't be able to.
Yeah, we would think of all the great stuff we
We
missed.
come
at
here
the
and be
beginning.
like, so what happened, guys?
Yeah. Why
basically.
don't you tell us in the chat? Yeah, we're gonna try something different. So yeah, I mean, I get it.
What do y'all think about them racing on Father's Day? Because I saw a lot of stuff about this. Because mainly right now, all the Cup Series guys are all men, and the vast majority of them are fathers, I believe. What do y'all think about them racing on Father's Day as a whole?
I'm fine with it.
I was also fine with it. Me and my wife were actually talking about it a little bit about like, you know, and I was like, I think Mother's Day, maybe this is sexist, I don't know. But I was like, Mother's Day I get.
And we're canceled.
No, but I like Mother's Day I
Been
get.
fun, y'all.
Yeah. No, but like I get like, you know, not wanting to race on Mother's Day and stuff like that, wanting to spend because if you think about it, most of NASCAR fans are men, right?
I would argue. I don't know the statistics, but I would argue
say
it's fairly high.
Yeah. So my thing is, chances are
It's 80-20, and the only reason the 20 come is because their husbands are gone.
you drag them.
Or you're part of Ryan Blaney's family.
Yeah, right. But no, my thinking is that, you know, a father or a lot of fathers that are into NASCAR at the end of the day just wanting to relax, put the race on at night, you know, kind of just chilling out after spending time with the family during the day. So this kind of makes sense to
I
me.
think there's two ways to look at it. For the fans, it makes total sense. You know, a majority of men, majority of NASCAR's demographics is probably men. They probably want to sit down, watch the race. Makes total sense.
Or go to the race with your kids.
Or go to the race.
Yeah.
It's dad's day. Yeah, I want
Yeah.
to do that. Cool. Not a problem. For the drivers, I don't really know if they care. I think they would listen. It's kind of like it's like everyone's work. You got a certain number of days you can have off in a year. What holidays do you want?
yeah.
You know,
It's a good point.
Listen, there's a few that non-negotiable. If you
But
could
this-
take off
this-
Mother's Day and Easter, yeah, that's fine.
This to me, like, this is where Mother's Day, Easter, and Father's Day, like, where you should be, what you should be doing is trying to race close to home on those weekends.
That's
you know what
fair.
I mean?
Yeah.
That's when we should run North Wilkesboro. That's when we should run, if we do go back to the Rock one day, the Rock.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Coke 600 is not going to move from Memorial Day, but, you know, maybe
another.
maybe Martinsville moves to a Mother's Day weekend or something like that. You know,
Yeah.
instead of being so early, move it a little bit
Yeah.
further back and just try to get the teams and not
Even
just the
Nashville's not
drivers,
that
but
far
all the
away.
teams and everybody. You know,
You can
let
even
them
do
get close.
Nashville.
You know, you can even
Yeah.
do like, you know, maybe you do look at like a Martinsville has lights. You can run that race at 7:00.
Just saying Daytona
Eastern
has lights
time.
too.
Well, I mean, you're not close to home, but I would love that.
It's close to our
Except for
home.
Mario.
But I mean, just like so, like keeping that in mind for the teams, like where if you do a late race, at least your family can get up together. And then I would even go as far as like as NASCAR, don't open the garage until the bare minimum time that you need to. That way, families can have time to be.
You don't have to rush
with
out the door.
Or teams can have time to be with their
Do
families.
you think that was probably why they had today as a night race?
Probably.
Or
no,
more
I think
later?
that had everything to do with TV window.
You think so?
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, JFB.
Because everybody's busy in the middle of the day.
Yeah, JFB in the chat was saying he likes the day to night kind of,
I do too.
moving in, different race kind of thing.
I like
do
that.
too.
Like I said,
I was-
generally yes, but I felt that this race, this track with the tire compound, the day race, I thought was a lot
Stage
more
one and
entertaining.
stage one was the
at least
best.
entertaining.
Stage two
Yeah.
was really good. Stage three started to fall off, and passing and separation kind of became more apparent.
Yeah.
Passing became more difficult. Separation became more apparent.
Yeah, I mean, overall, though, I mean, like, especially the beginning of this race, man, talk about some hard racing. I mean, actually, even all the way
The
into
whole
stage
way.
3, yeah, there was still people beating and banging on each other.
That's why I said the way I did in the intro.
Yeah.
Like Ross Chastain, I think, ran into everybody.
Pretty,
I
well, yeah,
mean,
pretty much.
There was that, and there was the whole Larson spin. I mean, I think
Yeah.
that was what the biggest accident of the day was, the Larson
Wow,
situation. Right?
definitely the most highlighted.
Sad.
Yeah,
I mean, there wasn't like any big car pileups. Everyone pretty much either had a tire failure or hit the wall on their own.
yeah.
So I would say that Larson, that restart.
Oh, it is.
was Suarez at fault? What do you guys think?
Was
Do you think was Suarez at
after-
fault?
So after looking at it the first time, the first initial thoughts was, yeah, it was Suarez, all on him. But after watching, we're going to talk about this, NBC kind of doing what NBC does and kind of showing and being like, hold on, let's go back. Let's look at this again. And showing a corner or two before what led into it. I think I just got to say it's a racing
Do you
thing.
think Larson got too aggressive?
I think Larson was, Larson had the car to
I
beat.
think Larson got a little aggressive, but Suarez definitely left. Suarez and who was it on the outside? Barry.
Barry, I think.
They left the middle open.
Yeah. You
Oh
leave
no,
him-
it wasn't Barry. It was Brad.
it was Brad.
Oh, yeah.
They left
Brad.
the middle open, and then Brad definitely kind of came down on Larson and kind of squished them all together as Suarez kind of came up. It was a racing deal between three guys, but the two guys definitely left it open, and Larson being aggressive and being the fastest guy, which I kind of put on Larson a little bit like, bro, you're way faster than these guys.
You'll
Like,
get
you
'em.
don't have to do that move.
No.
Yeah.
It's 100 and something laps to go. Way
Easily
too
130
early.
laps left.
Yeah.
Why are
way
we
too
doing
early
this?
for that?
So Sawyer in the chat is saying NASCAR wanted to get the race in after the Golf U.S. Open. That could be.
Oh, yep. That
That
was
could
at
be.
12 o'clock today.
Yep,
Man,
and then that
a
explains.
7-hour golf game. Are we for real?
It's a good nap for the dads on Father's Day.
Golly. No,
Yeah.
I know Parker, my brother-in-law, he was like, yeah, the U.S. Championship. I was like, oh, where are they at? He's like, South Carolina. I was like, that's cool. But he said it was at 12. I figured it would be done by like 3 or 4 at
Yeah,
most.
I mean, it could have been to miss that.
That
You know, I
could be.
think that thing too, like with NASCAR, NASCAR
they
fans
the
are
same fans?
super
That's a good
traditional.
question.
They're not. Maybe some, but
I don't
I
watch
think-
golf, and Parker doesn't watch NASCAR. So.
I think NASCAR is just like very traditional. So like, you're gonna like NASCAR fans are gonna do stuff with their family first. You know,
Probably.
Yeah.
the NASCAR TV window used to be 12, and then they found out it's better to push it to 3 because by the time everybody goes to church and goes to lunch, like that's just the NASCAR fan base. Like,
Yeah.
not all of it, but a
A
huge
large
portion. Of
yeah.
it. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, as far as the Hamlin Larson thing, I mean, Hamlin was already having a really, really
what
rough
was
day,
up with him?
dude. Like,
No.
when is the last time we saw Hamlin legitimately running like 31st?
Wasn't it last year at like Martinsville
I
no,
don't
there
remember.
was.
or like 2 years ago?
He was moving for. Do you guys remember the beginning of the race? He was moving forward with Logano.
Yeah.
They were made it to like 4th and 6th, and then it was just one turn, and Hamlin lost it.
I think
then
he
he just
probably-
started chugging all the way back to 32nd,
I bet he blistered a tire and exposed a cord or something.
something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I thought he would. I thought
Yeah,
we
you
just
were
missed
thinking
it.
he
They
hit the
went
wall or
high and hit
something.
the wall or something.
There was no damage though,
as much
so-
as he dropped, it kind of felt like that was the case.
And how quick? I mean, he dropped to 32nd in like 10 laps.
Yeah.
Like,
it was weird.
and he never came in and pit and fixed it. He just struggled the whole first stage. I mean, I think he went 2 laps down.
Yeah, I think it was 2
At
laps
some
down.
point,
Yeah,
he was like 2 laps down, and he had to fight his way all the way back. I don't know where he finished. I don't think it was very high, but still, like, man, what a pretty much an explosion. Just like
Not-
he knew
not
Smyrna.
just-
I
not
mean, he
just him,
showed
but
up.
it
He
was,
was good for a few laps, and then nuked.
Gone. Yeah.
Not just him, but what about Toyota in general?
Yeah.
Man,
My
I mean,
fantasy
they
league
definitely by
heavily-
the end of the day got a lot better. But the first like stage,
It was
it was
scary.
like, yo, Toyota complete. I mean, at one point in time, I think almost all 4 JGR cars are running outside top 20.
Yeah.
Top
I was
20.
like, ooh, y'all missed it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Well, they figured it out at the end.
Yeah,
I mean,
they got a
Bell
lot
finished like
better.
I think a top 10.
I think
Top
he was top
five.
5. Yeah, he
Yeah,
was
top
way up
5.
there.
But he was
And
the only
then,
one. Everyone else was gone.
Let's see, where was Truex? Truex was, I think, a top 15 or something
15.
like that. Yeah, and then obviously everyone else
I
was
think-
terrible.
Bubba and Reddick were like 25th, something like that.
Yeah.
They were not the greatest picks.
Reddick was looking good for a little while, but then it just kind of,
Once he lost the front, he was gone.
yeah.
once he got mired back there, he was.
Either that or
back,
he
just
found
kept
he
falling.
might have found started smelling some hamburgers or something and had to go steal them or something. Everyone was making such a big deal about his
Bro, he
scheme.
did have the best fire suit.
The fire suit was awesome.
That's
Man, that's full commitment.
that's
I'll take
goated
it.
right there.
That's Brad level of commitment.
Like I
right
love
there.
the red tie and everything about it. I'm like, yes.
Yes, bring it in.
I like it. We kind of talked about it, but I think Chastain has made new enemies.
That's not what my note
Do you
says.
want to buy a vowel?
My note says Chastain makes friends.
he made a lot of friends.
I don't think so.
Chastain, I think, I don't know. I don't know if it was the corn that was on his car or what, but man, he was like, I want everyone to know about
He was
this.
out for blood today, man.
I mean, he's always for the farmers, I guess. So, you know,
I guess.
I don't know. I mean, he was
I don't
having
think he really did anything that egregious. I'm gonna be
was
honest.
just
He raced
aggressive.
people hard.
that's what
he
Ross
is-
does.
How many races are left in the regular season? Less than 10? We're at what, 9?
Yeah.
something like
I
that.
He's
think
gonna
that was
need
race
a win.
17. Yeah.
That
so
was
yeah.
race 17. There's 6 spots left. Blaney was our 10th winner,
And he
Yep.
doesn't have a win yet.
and he
But
doesn't
he
have
should
a
be
win.
good on points, but still.
But still, exactly. So
Blaney, we had another new winner.
yeah, I mean, an expected winner. It wasn't.
We
I don't think
expected
it was,
he would win eventually. Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't like a oh my gosh, it's good. You know,
Yeah. but
honestly, it
there's
wasn't
a
Josh
handful
Berry.
There's a handful
Yeah.
of guys out there that are definitely capable of winning. Josh Berry, Noah Gregson are definitely a couple
Yeah, they just showed it.
that come to mind. Yep.
Yeah,
Chase Briscoe ran a lot, really good today. Yeah.
Justin Haley.
Justin.
Brian,
It was
I don't
up
know. I
there.
don't know. He's not.
I don't know if he'll get a
winning speed,
win, but
Byron was up there or was chasing Blaney down toward the end.
I think unlikely, but that's certainly possible that we get 16 winners. But I think
could
it's
still happen.
certainly likely.
I think we're closer to 14.
I think what really concerns me more than that is like a couple guys like your Suarez and your Austin Cindric who are out of the playoffs via points that take up 2 spots.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it doesn't matter if you're running 14th because you're running 14th and 2 guys outside win, you're out. Or
Yeah.
on the bubble at least, you know. So like Logano hasn't won, Kyle
Busch.
Busch hasn't won, and both of them as of last week in points, I haven't seen the updated from this week, but last week they were both out.
Yeah.
So like if they win, all of a sudden you've lost 2 more spots. Like so it's super interesting like this year. Like I feel like as the racing has changed and the things have changed and the schedule's changed, like I feel like really the whole playoff system is really coming into fruition because like now like you would know like by this point normally there's only 2 or 3 guys in contention and like this year like bro like half the field is in contention to win this championship.
I was telling you earlier today, this should be Blaney's 3rd win.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay,
how
where
close
where?
Atlanta.
Gateway?
How close was he at Atlanta?
Yeah. A solid 3 wins. Easy.
Solid.
Yeah.
He could have had. You know, yeah, it would have took away Suarez's win and Cindric. Wow.
He's 1 lap and a
Wow,
few
the
inches
2
from Atlanta.
oddballs that won
Or because
were
Blaney
because Blaney either messed up or was that close. That's weird.
is a little strange.
1 gallon of fuel and a few inches was all he needed.
Wow, that's wild.
Yeah.
That's
I
wild.
got Kai Guy in the chat asking us. We kind of talked about it, but we'll just kind of summarize it. What was your opinion on starting at 7 versus a traditional 1 or 2?
We kind of talked about that, but just to kind of hit it again, like it kind of worked because we had family plans all day, and then we went to church in the morning and everything. So 7 o'clock. I didn't even realize it was 7 until last night, and I was kind of like until I saw it on TV, the commercial, and I was kind of it's been in the back of my mind like, oh man, we got these family plans, and we're gonna have to try to watch the race, and kind of like I was kind of dreading the fact that we're gonna have to be like half tuned in with like the family situation and hanging out with family, and then also trying to be plugged into the race and figure out what's going on. And when the kids get loud. You're like, shh, be quiet, be quiet. You know, you're trying to listen. It kind of like kills the vibe of the family thing, but like,
And makes the race hard and you don't catch
yeah,
everything.
yeah. So for me personally, like, it was perfect time. I wish, like, we had a little more sunlight, like you were saying. But
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. I
if
think
that-
the race. I think
feel
the
like it
race
a good
was
time.
better in the sunlight. I would have preferred a 5 o'clock start. But I mean, it played out.
It worked.
It worked for our.
In our situation, yes.
Situation.
Yeah. So
Hopefully, it did for everybody else too, man. And the viewership, you know, shows that, reflects that. I know
think-
it was going against college baseball tonight, so that might be tough. But
I got a.
Hey.
I got a quick question for you. It's total hypothetical.
save
but-
it for the question section. No, I'm just kidding.
I can if you want me to. Basically, if a Stewart Haas driver does end up sneaking a win and getting into the playoffs,
do they stay around?
no, does like an owner decide to show up and like try to help him, like Tony Stewart or Gene is like, hey,
So I
so
got-
you
I got-
actually made it into the. Hey, let's actually try a little bit and see how far we can go
I-
on a
I
I-
have
rider.
no doubt Stuart Haas is going to try 100% throughout the year, as much as they have been.
Okay, the team, yes, but Stewart or Haas.
What are they going to do? They haven't done anything the whole time.
I'm just wondering, you know, if Barry gets. Let's say Barry gets a win. You
Stuart
know,
Haas
is Tony
or,
gonna walk in and be like,
Haas
"Hey,
is too busy."
congrats, let's."
Comes in, hey, buddy, how you doing?
Tony's too busy inhaling nitromethane, and Stuart or Haas is too busy sipping champagne on his yacht in Monaco. So
Yeah.
they're
just
on their own.
I don't know. I was just wondering.
All right. So one more thing about this Cup race, NBC, we love you.
Oh yes.
Oh my gosh, I will tell you right now. The one thing. What?
No, I'm
Oh, you're
agreeing
good.
with you. Like I'm so happy.
The
NBC's back.
number one thing that blew our minds. We're at commercial, and I don't remember the exact incident. An incident happens. They pulled us from a commercial to bring us back to the race.
And it was already side by side.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
How-
they said, "Oh,
Bro,
this is more
was
important."
it me or did it felt like there was a ton of side by side today?
It was amazing.
Oh, there was one point
A
where they
bunch.
had like 5 side by sides.
No, I'm
like,
talking about like the commercials.
I think at the beginning there may have been a few full screens.
Yeah,
but
yeah, but I'm saying like from like stage 2 on, it felt like they were all
Oh.
side by sides.
I think there was only 2 full commercials,
maybe.
green flag commercials,
Yeah,
full green flag.
yeah, I
2.
don't mind a full screen commercial under caution.
Yeah, yeah,
For
yeah.
sure,
No,
for
that's
sure.
expected. You know, caution comes out. Okay, cool. Here's the highlight.
Yeah.
Cut to commercial. Come back.
Yeah,
All right, we're going
whatever.
on pit road. That makes sense. But you're not pulling us away after 10 laps of green flag and hey, time to go to commercial now. Hey, time to go to like. Oh,
That's like the
my
most egregious thing
gosh.
about Fox is we literally run 10, 12 laps on a short track. You're talking 20 seconds a lap. So we're 5 minutes of coverage in and we're going to commercial.
It makes no sense.
And it's like you just killed the entire vibe and energy of all this pre-race and all this hype.
There's
and
still
you
3 by 3.
literally just killed it.
There's still 3 wide going into corners. And they'd be
Yeah.
like, hey, we got to go to commercial. Deuces. And then
Yeah.
finally in stage 3, they'd be like, okay, we're going to come back, but it'll be side by side for the rest of the stage. And it's like, okay, that's cool. Why can't we do that the whole race?
Yeah, even
I don't know.
Sawyer in the chat, even he's like saying he thinks it was when Ross's tire went down. I do think that was with.
I think that's what it was.
And he said he made a comment with the family about how fast they brought it back.
Right.
So
They,
yeah,
they didn't end the commercial, but you could tell there was more in that commercial break, and they cut it short.
yep.
Yep.
And it's like it makes sense because you know, like something's happening. It's probably gonna be a commercial. Like you're probably gonna be a caution, so you're probably gonna have another opportunity for commercial. Like it just makes sense. And like I wouldn't mind like if they pull us out of commercial break, talk about this incident, and then go back to commercial. I'm good with that. Like it builds the hype. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like this, whatever happened on the racetrack is so important. We got to come out of commercial.
Yep. No, I
about it.
completely agree.
You know?
I felt, like you said, the colors were better. It felt like the colors
don't
were
even-
better.
It did feel
I
like they were
watched
more
it.
It looked
saturated.
more crisp.
Yeah.
I watched the
The
videos
in-car.
doing a side by side with the different perspectives of the coverage and showing like Fox and NBC, and it was like, oh, this is like their Fox is way off,
Yeah,
Way
it's weird.
off.
way off, like shockingly off.
Good
and,
luck,
and I
Andy.
guess I hadn't noticed, but I noticed today, and after watching that video, I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a testament. They're still doing post-race interviews,
Yeah.
airing them all.
Still, and
And
we've,
we're like an
we've-
hour after the race.
We're
a good 40 minutes.
We're 28 minutes into our podcast.
and we
Yeah.
sat here
And-
for 20 minutes,
at
so
least.
yeah.
So I mean,
I
hands
think
off.
the other thing,
NBC.
bro,
Welcome
like,
back.
there was a few of the close-up zooms, but like when a car had damage, when they're showing bumps.
Yeah.
When
You
they're
know,
showing the
things
steering,
like that,
which
yes,
makes
like-
sense. Like, hey, look how much wheel this guy has. He's turning so hard. That means his tires are cording.
Yeah.
because he can't get the turn easy.
It makes sense.
yes.
Yeah.
It's not just look at his feet.
We had
Like, all right,
you
chill.
know,
Or even like just zooming in on the left front wheel. Like it's just like it's a weird.
Fox
stuff
had a thing about feet, man. They were always showing the feet pedals. I don't know, man.
Well, I like the foot pedal view.
Oh, easy.
You know what I'm saying? You don't know
Jake-
about that
Jake's
NASCAR?
on- Jake-
you don't know
Jake-
about that
Oh, no,
NASCAR OF, bro?
Jake over here on Feet Finder.
Yo, bro.
But we
Danny
got
Hamlin got his own page.
probably.
you know.
We have Kai Guy. He's like half the season. He's had to mute his TV from Fox. Just
Yeah, I'm really disappointed we didn't do that throughout
Mute
the
the
year.
TV?
Like mute the TV and like pull up MRN because we love MRN. Like
Yeah.
love MRN.
Yeah.
We've done it. We did it once or
Well,
twice.
the
I think,
delay.
before.
Delay.
The
That's
delay is the
problem.
tough.
We did it down at the pool.
That's
and
true. That's
The
true.
MRN was just like 30 seconds faster, so I'd be listening and be like, "Oh, this is gonna happen," and then everyone's like, "What?" And they're looking at TV,
Yeah,
and then it
that
happens.
does suck.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that stinks.
The multiple views gives chance for viewers to really see what they want to watch.
Bro, that one time they had 5 shots of different racing.
Amazing.
I was like, yeah, we've made it.
This is great.
I was like,
I just hope this
I've
isn't
been
like,
thinking about-
hey, we're back, one good coverage, and then the rest of the year is like, all right.
JFB is he says, "quote Look at this bug that Blaney hit." On
Fox was notorious for just showing random fans in the grandstands,
which
And
is fine to a point.
Once,
Yeah.
no,
Fine.
but not when there's green flag racing. When you're
I
killing
agree.
time on like yellow flag
Yeah,
or
yeah,
something.
yeah.
Like,
No, Fox is notorious for it. And it's like, I'm here to watch the race.
this
I
is
don't
why we
care
can't get a
about
replay.
I don't care about people finding.
No, bro.
Like,
We-
I'm not
right.
playing Where's
this
Waldo
is why we
with
cannot
the
get
camera
a.
guy.
This is why we cannot get a replay of a wreck because they're too busy trying to find the next fan on the next close-up shot.
It's insane.
Bro, like, if-
Or where they have the two fans that are literally sitting right next to each other, and they have two separate cameras
bro,
on
that
these
was
fans.
so whack.
It was
I
like,
don't
And
y'all-
they weren't in sync time-wise.
yeah, that was even weirder.
What are we doing here?
I don't get it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I don't
at
know.
the end of the day,
So
Fox.
we're
Adios.
we are glad you're gone. NBC, we love you. They even responded to our tweet, our post.
They commented
They
on
commented.
one of our tweets.
No, it's
Go.
it's a post now. It's
No,
not
it's
a tweet.
not. It's a tweet, DJ. Shut up.
Sorry,
It's an
I'm just
Xing.
telling you. It's an Xing. No, I don't think so.
Xing.
No, I don't think that's how it
What,
goes.
hey, what'd y'all think about Dale Jr. not being in the booth?
It was rough.
Can I be honest? Him and
Jeff
Jeff
Burton.
Burton sounds so similar. You could have told me it was Junior. I would have never known. They have such a a southern
Accent.
It's
Do you consider it
it's that, no,
Southern?
it's that Carolina draw. Dude.
Yeah,
it's
Carolina
that
draw.
Carolina accent. It is something else.
I
that
had problems-
Appalachian draw, man.
The only thing that I could tell last year was Junior got really excited when things happened. So he'd get really high pitched, but Jeff does not. So it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, but then Junior gets really high pitched, and then so does Steve Letarte, and then so does Junior, and they keep doing this. I think the only thing I missed about Junior being there is like Junior has such an incredible love for the history of the sport. He's a historian, but he's also a driver not long removed from the seat, and he pays very, very close attention. So he's still very much in tune on what's going on.
Yes.
And he's a team owner in Xfinity, right? So those three things make him super unique, and his perspective super unique. I really enjoyed Kevin Harvick in the booth. So like not having that guy, that really relative recent driver that can tell you, oh, this is why this is happening. Like Jeff Burton's trying, and he's doing a really good job. There's a couple times like it kind of came off to me like a little like, I told you this is what was going to happen. He's going to get da, da, da.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, you're supposed to like, I don't know. It just kind of rubbed me the wrong way a little bit, but not much. Not really. Not anything serious. But that's the only way where I feel like we really missed Junior was the historian aspect and kind of like just his take on what's going on with the cars and the race in the moment. But I felt like NBC nailed the excitement because it was exciting. Like the broadcast was
Very
exciting.
exciting.
It was. I
And
felt
the
like
app never crashed.
yeah, I felt like the energy was a little down with him not being there. But overall, I mean, it wasn't that different. I mean, yes, I miss having Junior there. I think he's great at what he does. I do like listening to his takes on everything, but I don't think it was a huge detriment. Either that or it was just I was so glad to be out of the clutches of Fox that this was like it was just like so much better that even without him there it was still a huge improvement. So I think that's part of it too. And so I don't know. I mean, I miss him, but I'm okay.
I mean,
It's
yeah.
all right.
I mean, he's not he's not going to be there this year, but I mean, he will be back next year. Like he'll just be with Amazon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Amazon,
he's not like gone forever.
Amazon and TNT.
And he has 2 podcasts a week. So
For the record, post race is wrapping up right now, an hour after the checkered flag.
That's
Beautiful.
wild.
For what it's worth.
beautiful.
Fox was what, like 10
Bravo.
minutes? 5
Bravo,
minutes?
NBC. Let's keep it up.
Yeah.
Let's finish the
Can
year.
you,
I think.
can you just take over the rest of Fox's?
I want to talk
dates?
about some of these comments. He said that Kai Guy says if Dale Jr. has a contract with NBC, still he can do a one-off race. Sawyer replies, he doesn't. Unfortunately, he's going to be with Prime TNT, and then Kai Guy puts like a crying emoji. So I mean, I get that, but the good news is Dale Jr. is moving into. He'll be a broadcaster, but he also has a
Like
huge
a producer role.
hand in producing and being just a developer of what this thing looks like. And he's already mentioned on his podcast like just a couple little hints about how he wants to. It'll be majority the same, but there will be some tweaks. If you go back to like a way early podcast, y'all grilled me for it. But one of the things I was mentioning that I loved about the old broadcast in the 80s and the 90s was like the super like gladiator high, just really tense, gladiator style music and like this intense moment as they're doing driver intros, not driver intros, but the running order for the start of the race, getting ready for the race. And it just like created this whole moment. Like, so that's something Dale Jr. has already highlighted that he wants to bring back. And I'm like,
That's good.
For me, I'm like, that's dope. That's exactly what I want. So,
Yeah.
so there'll be some small changes like that. I don't imagine we'll have cartoon characters like Fox. I mean, but who knows? So I think him having that kind of executive role on top of being a broadcaster, like I think like he's gonna have a lot of control. Like he'll be able to go in there and like tell like the guys running the cameras, like, hey, don't do shots like this. Do shots like this. This is what
Yeah.
race. Because Dale Jr. at the end of the day, at the absolute end of the day, Dale Jr. is a race fan, and he knows
Yeah.
what race fans want. That's why his podcast resonates with race fans. Everybody loves his podcast. That's why Dirty Mo Media has blown up, because the content that he provides via Dirty Mo Media, not just him, but these other podcasts and different media.
I mean,
that
they
he's
wouldn't have a
brought on, it's
platform without
incredible.
him.
No, but it's like all the media they brought on is all the media that everybody likes. Like he understands. So like I'm not worried at all about that. And I think that'll be the best 10 race stretch of next year.
Yeah. Quick questions. Sawyer, we have answered this. I believe we did it actually on last week's podcast. Thoughts on Darlington as the season ender and not Daytona? Trash.
It's only 1 year.
I agree.
Get it through.
I think
we
it
got
is.
the Olympics.
Yeah, but we could use
Move
Labor Day
forward.
weekend because it rains in August. We could have used the extra weekend
Yeah.
or the extra day.
The
With
only
Labor Day.
reason we got
There's a
through
reason it's a Saturday night race.
The only
because
reason-
Sunday's still there.
the only reason we got through it this year was because we had a hurricane or something off on the coast, and it basically pulled all the bad
Oh,
weather
I
out.
really
Yeah.
did. I remember that.
Yeah, it was like the only time I think I've
was
ever
like,
been there, and it
I
didn't
think
rain.
80 miles off the coast, and we're like, we're good.
Well, actually, no, I take that back. We were like, oh, it didn't rain, and it was like, no, it did one night for like 20 minutes.
Yeah, it missed it. For
It missed it, but that was it. It did still rain. We also got Kai Guy saying bring back the championship race in
I think
Homestead.
everybody's a fan.
I think
for that.
everyone does, but the way things are going, I don't see that happening for at least a little while.
I don't know if Homestead gonna be pumping out that money. I mean,
That's
it's
what
already
it comes down to.
it's already well documented. Phoenix pays to have it. So
Phoenix also sells out both races every year,
That
exactly.
too.
camping and grandstands.
That sounds like a win-win. City, NASCAR. I mean,
Yeah,
viewers might not, drivers
Fix the
might
tire.
not like it.
Might be all right.
Fix the tires, figure it out.
Make it into a dirt track.
Yes.
If they just make it more like a triangle,
oh, so what you're
might
saying
be
is go to
better.
Pocono?
we need
Basically.
a Pocono in
All right,
Phoenix.
so let's talk about the other races. ARCA, I didn't see it. Jake, did you watch it?
Yeah, it was pretty good, man. I'm not gonna lie. Like the last 2 weeks,
Connor won, right? Connor Zillage?
Yeah.
With Trackhouse? Well,
I don't know if it's Trackhouse, but yeah, Trackhouse driver.
affiliated.
No, it was honestly a pretty good race. A lot of attrition, like a lot of the same things we saw today. But those guys a lot less experience, so when they got loose, they spun out.
Okay.
It was a pretty good race, and then the Xfinity race was pretty good too. Did you guys watch that?
No.
I'm alone on an island.
I
you are.
was very hard at working at my house. So I went back and tried to rewatch it at like 10 o'clock at night, and I got through the first 2 stages, but I did not watch the end. So I can talk about the first 2 stages.
Yeah.
And I know Sam Mayer won, so.
Yeah, no, it was a pretty good race.
I watched the highlights. That's about it.
a lot of the same stuff. Saw some tire issues and stuff like that, which I kind of, man, I don't know what y'all think, but I kind of like the tire issue deal. Like if you get,
love it.
If you get a little too aggressive on air pressure or camber, you're
I
gonna
love
blow
it.
a tire.
You know what's awesome?
I love
Hearing Austin Hill whine about we have to increase your air pressure. No, we have to increase it to the max. No, because he knew if you increase the air pressure, the handling and performance out of that car goes way down.
Yeah.
But the tires don't blow. So good luck.
Sure
What do you
enough,
want?
at the end of the race, he blew a tire.
Yep, blew a tire, hit the wall.
I will
wrecked
say
out.
too, like man, when the Xfinity cars
His-
where they blew a tire, like they hit really freaking hard.
Yes.
Like we saw like a lot of Cup tires. I mean, maybe just the Cup guys are just better, I guess maybe. But like they just
don't know.
didn't really hit the wall like that. Like AJ Allmendinger hit the wall so freaking hard yesterday, bro. Like that was crazy.
It was wild. It was wild. So there was a lot of failures, a lot of spin out. Do you think the Cup race was better or the Xfinity race, Jake? Since you watched both.
You watched both.
Hands down. Yeah,
Ooh.
let's not even say better.
Typically,
Which one did you like
lately,
more?
I've been picking the Xfinity race, but I actually really kind of like the Cup race. I just like a lot of people like DBC especially, right? They're always knocking that the Cup race is too long. I like the long Cup race, man. Like a college
Oh, it's
football
an
game is.
attrition. It's all about attrition.
Of course.
You're not up there if you
Look
can't
at
do
look
it.
at who
All the Toyotas.
Corey LaJoy
Yeah.
spun out early, came back and
Spun out like
compete.
3 times.
I mean,
Or he had
There's a
issues
lot
3
of
times.
people that were
but a lot
gone
of
and out
back
and
and
came
forth
back.
and coming
Yeah.
back. Like I like a long race. Like I look forward to this all week. Like I'm perfectly fine with a 3.5 hour 4 hour race. Like I'm perfectly
As long as it's
I'll watch
interesting.
a 4 hour college football game.
All
What
day.
I
You
what
know?
I don't want to watch is a 3.5, 4 hour race and watch Larson be in first place the entire
Oh,
time.
I would agree. I would agree. 100%.
As long as it's good and there's movement and there's stuff happening. and
100%.
That's the key.
yeah, as long as the racing is good. Like
Do you
like it's like I like the truck race or the ARCA race as kind of like your primer, and you get like another little primer with Xfinity, which is typically a phenomenal race, and then you get like the big like it's just like it's a great format, and I'm perfectly fine with it. But this week, normally I've been picking Xfinity, but this week I'll pick Cup. I liked it better.
That's fair. That's fair.
What were you going to say?
I was gonna say, who dictates the length of the race? When is that determined?
Is that a
You know.
sponsor or is
It's
that a NASCAR
probably
thing?
a track in NASCAR.
Do they have to figure out before the season starts, or
It's
do
probably
they just,
TV. TV has to deal with it too. I'm sure. Oh
Because
yeah, it's
I
definitely.
feel as though we kind of know what tracks are better longer and which ones are better shorter.
I will say when the schedule is finalized and put out in the media, all the distances are set.
Okay, so they're
Yeah,
they're all
I
set.
mean,
then.
they've tweaked some rarely in the past after it's been announced, but
Or if they're in Chicago, they just decide mid race and say, "Hey, we're going to shorten
hey,
it."
how much y'all bet that race ain't gonna be 100 laps this year?
Nope. Couple things real quick. Sorry, did you have something you wanted to add?
No, I was just wondering because there's like certain races that we know that are better longer, and some that
This
suck.
Connor, bro.
I know.
This kind of goes. DBC would trim Le Mans to 2 hours if they needed to.
I was
They
going to get
could.
there. I was going to get to all the things. I'm waiting
That
on
is
Matt to finish his
so
thought.
funny.
and then I'll
Sorry.
go through.
Yep, keep going.
Are you good? Okay. So a
Are you
couple
good?
things real
Yes.
quick in the chat that people are going off on. It's kind of funny. Want to see more diecast? Kai Guy, I think we did a short or a reel or something in our social on that, but we constantly change them out. So we've got a bunch more.
We did this
diecast on
because we don't have a Blaney car, but we have a 1 and a 2, so it's a 12. We got rid of the 3 car from last week. We
Yeah.
have more, but we figured a 1 and a 2.
Yeah,
That's for
we got a
Blaney.
bunch of different ones there. So they constantly change.
A bunch of different ones between about 4 drivers.
We have.
Unfortunately, I'm the only one buying diecast, so like it's like kind of.
Hey, have you bought the Brad one yet?
Hmm?
That Brad one that you said you were going to win or buy? The Castrol?
No, I haven't bought that.
Oh, okay.
No,
That's
I have
sad.
nowhere to put it.
I've been
Fair
a bad example to Matt. I showed him Elite diecast, and now he won't buy like the $60 version.
There's no point. Like you might as well buy the best one. Like look, this little antenna like comes up. Like look at this. This is freaking awesome. All the flaps. Look, it's got a trunk.
You don't
can
get
put
that
your-
with a
You can put your
$65
Miller back
version.
there. Fill it with Miller. You'd be good to go, bro.
Oh my gosh!
I'm telling you,
Uh,
it's the best.
So we have
That's why it's closest to me.
we have Sawyer saying he's starting to like Creed less and less every week.
Oh, runner-up
it's-
Creed?
it's runner-up Creed.
Yeah, runner up.
Well,
Creed.
he's up to what, 10 or
9.
9?
He's got
runner
the
up.
most. They had a weird stat about it. I'm not going to repeat it, but they had a weird stat about his runner-up wins versus Jeff Burton's actual wins. It was weird. I don't know.
Yeah.
That
And
sounded
then
like a Fox stat.
asking
was a
for
weird- yeah.
asking for our thoughts on SVG and Austin Hill after Sonoma.
Loved it.
Thought it was hilarious, and I think it was even funnier that we're pretty sure SVG gave it back to him.
I can't remember who said it. I listened to one of the podcasts, but it's basically like
NBC would have shown it.
for
Yeah.
him to come around and kind of just burn out and drift around the entire track is pretty much a giant middle finger to the rest of the field.
Right? Like, yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, I can beat you and do this
At
Like,
the same time. I don't
I
need
love it.
tires.
I love it.
So definitely love that. And then the DBC Le Mans thing, and then DBC has had some bad and soft takes recently.
Interesting takes.
Interesting. But yeah, lots and lots of fun.
I love that when Brett quit spotting, he's like, we need more practice. We need more on track time. Like before he was the biggest advocate for like no track time.
Right. We got someone else saying Chase had speed, just needed a better short run speed. He did have pretty good speed overall. There was a point where I was thinking, man, Chase
I
might
thought
be able to
Chase
get up
was going
there.
to win this race. Stage 2, I was like, he's the guy.
Yeah.
You
He was
know?
moving in the
It
right
was going to
direction.
be him or Larson.
He's the best. He's the GOAT.
You're the best.
Oh, man.
If y'all want to go down a YouTube rabbit hole,
No.
look
Moving on. Will we get demonetized for playing that junk?
at, well, we didn't play it. You just sang it. So we
No,
should
I'm
be
just
fine.
saying if we do. Maybe we
That
should
video should be
outro it.
I'm not even no intro. All right, let's go on to our NAS news section. This is where we give you guys some news in the NASCAR industry. Obviously, the biggest news this entire week was it is official. Martin Truex is retiring after a couple years of Willie won't he. We finally know this is it. This is the end.
Who's Willie? Won't he?
I don't know.
I never knew that driver.
He's the driver of the 147.
He's the 101 car.
Yeah,
No, hey,
sure.
he's in the ARCA series.
I'm
He's
not
in the
gonna
ARCA
lie.
West.
I'm not gonna lie. With that snoozer of a car he got today, I'd be out too. I'd
Run out of fuel last week.
I park it, give him the keys, and be like, "Hey, peace.
I'm out.
Go
Yeah.
call up Heim. It's Heim time. Here you go."
Yeah, so Martin obviously the going or leaving.
How
He's
you
been in
gonna
for a while.
come out and be like, "Hey, I'm retiring this week," and like start tearing up on TV and stuff, and then like have such a lackluster performance?
I was kind of surprised. That's
Like-
kind of why
like,
I picked him in my
How you
league.
gonna? How you gonna do that? Like at least come out and like put on a show star, but like yeah, I could still a good top 10. I'm not saying top 5, not even top 3, but a good top 10. Like yeah, I'm still there. Like don't out.
Well,
man. He was
I
gone the
mean-
whole race.
I think that was just JGR though. He should have got that. They said Bell's backup car was from Truex Martinsville last year. He should have picked that car.
Yeah,
Right?
That was way better than
That
what
was
he
way
had.
better than the crap he got today. They're all hey, I guarantee next year it's all going to be Martinsville cars.
All the
Bring 'em back.
Martinsville. Yeah.
What's cool about the whole Martin situation? 2311 owner Denny Hamlin, co-owner with Michael Jordan, did say that he would have a third car ready and waiting in case he wanted to run any races.
Yeah, part time.
I'm
or
like,
whatever.
that's dope.
I
That's
heard
cool.
Daytona 500. Not
That's
any-
possible.
He did say Daytona specifically, but I think he said any race as well.
I could see in like any tracks that they ran really good at, like a Richmond or something. Like I could see him coming back.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know, maybe not though.
Sonoma.
They did
Just ran out
kind
of gas.
Gotta finish that last lap.
They did kind of make a comment. I don't know, Joe Gibbs was saying that he'll still be around. So I don't know if they're gonna try to do like a Kurt Busch thing where it's like, hey,
Oh,
keep
he'll
him
be
around.
an ambassador of JGR, just like Bobby Labonte is. And
Yeah.
has been for a while.
That's how you keep Bass Pro right there. He's not really gone. He's just not driving. But he's still an ambassador.
Yeah, I don't
What's
know.
that mean? He got to go to meetings that he's never attended before.
No, he's just got to sponsor Bass Pro.
That is, I'm sorry. That is the wildest thing. Is that literally in his contract he has that he doesn't have to attend meetings.
I'm down for it.
Like,
So wild.
Why
like,
not?
hold on. This man literally specifically got in his contract to have, where it's like, no, I don't have the meetings on Monday. Why? Because I want to go fishing.
Because
like-
of Martin.
That's why Johnny Morris is like, that's my guy.
That's my boy.
Priorities.
That's him doing his sponsor obligations to go fishing. I wouldn't be surprised if it isn't worded like that somehow.
Probably. It's hilarious either
So
way.
funny.
So Martin retiring. We wish you well, Martin. But hopefully we'll still see you around. IndyCar, unfortunately, they have decided that they're going to actually give Fox a shot.
Boo.
I'm kind of torn on this. Have you all read the details on this?
Of course not.
No, I can't read.
So part of the deal is all the races have to be broadcast on Fox, not FS1.
Okay.
So that's good for IndyCar. That's good.
Yeah.
What are they
and
on
then
now? Is it just what is it?
NBC Peacock.
Okay.
So that's
It's great on
obviously
Peacock.
a
You
huge
can
plus.
watch it whenever.
Practice and qualifying will still be like FS1, FS2 stuff, depending on the week. Excuse me. What was the other thing? So the other good thing about it that I heard, the other good defense is there could be a lot of cross like pollination with like branding and like advertising between, because Fox now owns the biggest sporting event in the world, which is the Super Bowl.
Yep.
And then they also own the largest motorsports event, largest watch motorsports event in the world, which is Daytona 500.
Yep.
And they also own the largest IndyCar event in the world, the Indy 500. So like across those three, I mean, you're talking huge
numbers.
Yeah. And so they should be able to, especially because Fox owns the NASCAR portion, and for the beginning of the year and the IndyCar, like they'll be able to like work together. Like one thing I'm looking forward to, like first half of the year, like we're probably not going to have any races clash with NASCAR and IndyCar.
Oh,
beginning
that would
half
be
of
a
the year.
positive.
So, like that is a positive.
You know, that's a good point.
Yeah.
My only concern is like I wonder like do they get Diffie, and do they get some of those good IndyCar guys? Are they able to secure them guys? Like that's my only thing. Like
Hopefully.
that's like part of the IndyCar identity. Like when I tune into IndyCar broadcast, like that's what I'm looking for. Like when I tune into Daytona 500, you expect to hear Mike Joy.
Yeah.
You know, it's been that way for 20 years. Like it's just part of the identity of the Daytona 500 at this point. So between like they basically said you have the Super Bowl, which will help promote the Daytona 500, and the Daytona 500 because IndyCar starts a couple weeks later will help promote IndyCar, and then they'll cross promote each other over the months, and eventually
Which that part does make sense.
yeah, and eventually as NASCAR on Fox is winding down, they'll be able to promote to the NASCAR fans IndyCar. So like it makes sense.
Yeah.
It's interesting. But the big thing, the huge thing, the biggest thing for IndyCar is all of them will be on Fox and not FS1. That was a negotiation between NBC and Fox. Is they offered them X amount of money, and then Fox said, well, we'll match the money and we'll put you on our channels. And then they came back and said, or only on Fox. And then like it just went back and forth basically.
And
so
that was the
like that was a
decider.
huge like negotiating thing. Like you'll be on the big main Fox.
Yeah.
So big
I think
deal.
that makes sense. I'm going to be, we were talking, I'm like, man, I feel bad for IndyCar because now they got to deal with all the stuff we're complaining about. But then the other part of me is sitting here thinking, what if they actually fix it? And what if it's all of a sudden good?
Bro, if
And
they do IndyCar right and NASCAR wrong, I'll be so pissed.
that's
Like,
the part that I'm laughing about.
you
Like,
read that last comment?
Yo, Sawyer is on something right now. Yo, you gotta
That
chill,
is
bro.
straight nightmare fuel.
I don't.
Oh,
I
God.
don't even want to think
So
about.
I
that.
will read it. Nightmare IndyCar booth. Boyer, Michael Waltrip, and Jamie Little.
I just
Kai and Kai guy.
Helio Castro Neves.
This Helio guy. I don't know what he's doing, but he out there fast.
Oh my
like
Kyle
God.
Larson in this race.
Oh
Could you
yeah.
imagine Michael Waltrip grid walk on the Indy
Oh
500?
my God! He drops a taco on the IndyCar or inside
He's
the
in
little.
the wrong area when they're doing the burnout to start the race.
That sounds about right. All right. Another news that's happened. So teams are apparently very extremely dissatisfied with the new NASCAR deal that they've been given.
So we touched on it a little bit last week because it kind of just came out, but to really hash on it, because some of the teams have kind of said their points through different sources. They're pissed because NASCAR had, before the conversations and negotiations had like kind of stalled out, NASCAR kind of said, hey, here's the deal. And the team said, no, we need this. And it kind of stalled out for a while, like pretty much since Daytona.
Yeah.
And then NASCAR's been going around to every team individually, trying to meet with them individually. Well, then, so they kind of got some ideas. They got some feelers. So they sent out a new one. And it is way more in NASCAR's favor. So it was like, oh, man, like NASCAR,
Uh-oh.
instead of like, getting
Typical.
the teams on board and like getting them like on board with the current like they went and wrote one that's like way more aggressive. They can own charters. The revenue
pay, right?
split is less.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all kinds of stuff.
No
that
new
you're just
revenue?
like, oh,
It's something weird, like no new revenue or something
spending
like that.
cap.
Yep, spending caps, which is detrimental to
oh,
smaller
that's
teams.
a
Yeah.
terrible idea.
I will say, I kind of do agree with Jim France. He did say the reason why they cannot do unlimited charter, or lifetime charters, not lifetime, what do they call it?
Permanent.
Permanent charters. Thank you. They
What's
cannot
the
do
difference?
permanent charters because, there's no, you can't. Well, he said there's no way for us to guarantee that we can sponsor them or fund them. Basically, is what he said. Not verbatim, but something like that. And it makes sense because you don't know what the TV media landscape looks like in 10 years or 20 years or 100 years. You just don't know. How is media consumed in 20 years?
That's true.
Could be
You know what I
very
mean?
different. Look at what streaming's done to everything. It's
100%.
changed everything.
So it makes a lot of sense. I kind of like the whole 7-year deal, and everything's working for everybody. Just roll with a 7-year deal.
I think that
You
works.
know?
It also, like you said, allows us to adapt.
And
I
then
think that's important.
I've talked to some people like Jeff Gluck, and he kind of mentioned that Gibbs and Hendrick, they want the deal to be a certain way, and I get it. But at the same time, you didn't buy charters. You just, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you were giving
at the
them.
end of the day, I would think what's important to Hendricks and Gibbs, who's going to pass on to family and investors, is it's just about your capital year to year and how much money you're making year to year. And as long
Yeah.
as you can make money and it's a good business venture, then that's really what matters to you, not the other, which is we need to have permanent charters so that way when I decide to retire in 60 years or whatever or get out, I can recoup my money.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm kind of to the point where I'm like, man, I really want them to just sign something already, but at the same time, I get it. Obviously,
I don't think we're even close.
I don't think, not based off of what it sounds like.
No, I don't. I think it could go
The way
another-
things, I'm almost wondering, are we going to know about this by the championship?
I don't know.
Maybe not. It might be December.
That's what I'm wondering.
I think
Sounds
them
like a
not
lot
signing this
of-
deal is why they haven't released the schedule because NASCAR doesn't want the bad press. I think the schedule's done. That's my belief. The schedule for next year is done, but there's going to be some dates on there, whether it's Montreal or Mexico.
That teams are not going to want to go to.
And Denny Hamlin's going to say, well, if I don't have a charter agreement, I'm not going. And
Why
create
would
a
you?
bunch of bad publicity. And NASCAR loses a little bit of leverage, which NASCAR has all the leverage. But that loses a little bit of leverage, so I could see them holding off on the schedule until they get a signed charter agreement.
I get
The
that.
schedule was supposed to release the end of last month.
Yeah. I mean,
And now
I
they're
get
saying
that.
this month.
Yeah.
End of this month.
They'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I don't want to go too in deep. I don't know a lot about it. I think news changes weekly about it. I'm sure something's going to come out this week about it. So it's kind of one of those things I kind of want to just wait and see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think what's really interesting is
Unless something absolutely super dramatic
Front Row Motorsports
comes out
has
about.
announced their closing and their charters are for sale, and only one has been allocated to. I'm sorry, not Front Row.
I'm
Stuart
like,
Haas.
what are you
Sorry,
talking
sorry.
about? These
Stuart
guys
Haas.
just
Stuart
bought it.
Haas is selling their charters, and they, there's one confirmed going to Stuart Haas. Or oh my god,
Jeez, come on, Jake.
one going to Front Row Motorsports. Blah, I'm done. But
Anyway.
Front Row, and then but the other two, it's been radio silence.
Other two. You mean
Already
other
sold.
three?
They just can't say it.
Oh, the other two, I'll tell you why.
Oh, okay. Is that that's
you
in the
gonna tell
rumor
us
mill?
why?
It's on the list.
Oh,
Oh, it's
okay.
on the list. Okay.
You want a cup? No, it's in rumor mill.
Okay. Anyway, so then the last one, I don't really understand this note, Jake, with Fox viewership up overall.
I don't know where the width came from. Fox, I'm just from beginning of the year 2024, Daytona 500 to now, as of last weekend,
Oh, I
Fox
see what
viewer
you're saying.
sports across the board was up.
To be honest, there's been a lot of really good finishing
First
races.
time since 2001.
That if
Whoa,
you think about
that's
all,
wild.
if you think about all the
Doesn't match
crazy-
their numbers, but the first time it's been up
So if you think about it, I mean, think
year
about
over year.
think about all the close finishes we've had. Think about how we've had several bangers of a race.
We've had a lot of snoozers too. Don't forget about that.
Yes, but remember we
stretch.
talked about it. We talked about it last week. I think this is the first year that I can gladly say that we have definitely a lot more good races than bad races.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
So I think that that's been good. You don't have the whole safety thing coming up a whole bunch anymore. This new car is, I don't want to say it's coming into its own, but a lot of the issues that they had at the beginning
Do
are
we
kind
even
of
call it the new car anymore? We're what?
the
3
current
years in?
car. Yeah, it's the
Gen
current
7?
gen. Yeah, the Gen 7. So maybe that all plays into it. I don't know, but that's good. That's good for the sport. Good to grow it, and I'm
about
definitely glad.
The two things that I saw that was like really interesting about that was the Daytona 500, the biggest event of the year,
Yep.
was rain delayed, and then so was there a rain impact on Coke 600, and then I think there's 2 other races.
There have been a few of those. Yeah.
So there was 4 races significantly impacted by weather, which significantly impacts TV ratings, and we still saw a year-over-year increase.
Yeah, which is definitely a good sign.
It wasn't
small
much.
money.
It was 1%.
It's still something.
It's a plus. 1% of 300 million people on average is a lot of people.
Still a lot more people. Yep. All right, let's move on to
It's like the Starship Troopers. I'm doing my part. Like, we invited a new person.
Yes.
Like,
we're doing it, and I'm sitting over here saying I didn't do. Yeah.
we got a uptick in viewership because we brought Nate around. That's the +1.
That was the one thing. All right, let's move on to our rumor mill. So obviously, with the news of that Truex is going to be retiring next year, the 19 needs a driver. There's definitely no shortage of drivers that are looking for rides. So who do we think is going to fill that ride?
Man, it's all over the place.
There's so many.
What do you do if you're Joe Gibbs? You know, you got so many up and coming young drivers. I mean, there's 2 series, the truck series. You got Corey Heim, you got Chandler Smith. They're both fantastic.
Yeah.
Or, I'm sorry, Chandler Smith's in Xfinity. But you just have so many people that it's like you could pull from. I mean, Sheldon Creed's there. I wouldn't pick him, but he's there.
Unless you want to get runner up every race.
Do you want to take someone from Legacy? You know, do you want to give John Hunter a try? Does he have good funding? Do you want to get Eric Jones back? He's obviously a proven winner in Joe Gibbs material.
Yeah.
Or do you venture out and do you look at some of the Stewart-Haas drivers? Or do you look at, I mean, there's just so many possibilities. You look at Kyle Busch. The rumor is Kyle Busch is even looking. Or if Joe Gibbs calls, I'm going to answer. Like, who do you pick?
Yeah.
Like,
there
is so many people looking for this seat now. It's like, this is a hot seat. Like, and it's a consistently fair, good car. You know,
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's the worst.
I'd say
I mean,
it's
today it wasn't that great, but the whole team was kind of down today. So, who do you pick? Who do you pick? That is the question. Who's
Eric
got that
Jones.
money?
That's what I picked.
Really?
I mean, that's just what I think. Yeah.
I think Eric Jones is a solid pick.
Yeah.
You know, he's already won in the cars, in the 20 car when he was with them. He moved over to, what was it, Richard Petty for a while?
Yeah, what's technically he hasn't
Yeah,
changed.
I mean, he's still consistently decent with them for what's going on with their shops. I wouldn't say their shop, their parts. I don't know. There's a whole bunch going on there. There has to be a reason why they do not perform as well as other teams. Legacy. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I don't know. I think Eric Jones, that's a solid pick. I mean, you could get Noah Gregson. He's got. It's all over the
Noah
place. I don't know
sounded-
who to pick.
Noah
I genuinely,
sounded-
it is a hard pick.
There's multiple teams talking to Noah. Like that's
Noah
another
makes
thing.
the most sense because of the Bass Pro Shop
What did
sponsorship. But
our source say she saw?
our source said that Noah is going to RCR.
And they've been spotted there
They've
with
I forgot
Johnny
who it was.
Morris.
With Johnny Morris.
So the
And-
rumor is RCR is buying a third charter.
Yeah, RCR.
Noah would be a great fit for RCR.
Yes.
That's probably why Kyle Busch wants to leave.
I'm surrounded
doing
by
this.
I'm surrounded by children.
you got Hill, you got Jesse Love, you got
I'm
Dylan.
surrounded by racists and silver spoons.
Oh my god.
He's surrounded by a lot of weird people in the shop. So many different personalities.
Wow, what a weird place.
But that's another thing with RCR. I mean, think about it. We've had Kevin Harvick has openly came out and said RCR was not a great fit. You know, it started really falling apart, and they didn't want to listen, so he left.
Yep.
Then you had Tyler Reddick. He left because they didn't want to move things along.
Yep.
Right? And now you got Kyle Busch, who's miserable sitting there. So the only consistent person is Austin Dillon, and that's his granddad. So that says a lot about RCR.
He's carrying the team, bro.
Yeah.
He finishes every week.
That is something.
I think I saw him in
Just
the wall.
because it's 32nd don't mean nothing.
No,
I don't know. It's kind of weird.
that was pretty wild that to hear that information because I was not expecting Noah at RCR. That was not one on my bingo card.
Yeah.
So that shakes things up. So
or
yeah,
Dylan's out year early.
maybe
Maybe.
we have heard from that same source.
I think
that
it's
there's
weird.
rumors that he's definitely going to be out soon.
I do think it's weird when two drivers quote unquote retire or leave in the same year because one gets way more popularity than the other. Like this is like I feel like this is Martin's year. Like this is Martin's year. He's gonna retire. You know, there's gonna be the whole farewell. You know, thank you, Martin. 19, whatever. You know, they're
Yeah.
gonna do their thing. But like, if Austin Dillon also came out, it'd be like, okay, well, he's also retiring.
It would be
What was
like
it? The 24 retired the same year as the 14 or something like that.
I think
Didn't
ooh,
Jeff Gordon retire the same year?
Tony Stewart. I think they did retire.
No.
Someone retired the same year, like Eric Almirola and.
Oh, that was last year then.
Well, nobody remembers.
Harvick and Amarola.
Okay, so Harvick was the big, forever. Thank you so much. This has been great. And then Eric Almirola was like, "Hey, I'm leaving too." And they're like, "Yeah, get out of here. Don't let the door hit you." Wild.
That is kind of funny. So yeah, so I don't know. There's definitely, I mean, there's so many shakeups. Kyle Busch doesn't have a deal confirmed for next year. Is that I see that in our notes? Is that
I think he's just year by year with.
I thought I heard that he
RCR.
said obviously he said he's focused on this year, obviously, but I mean I don't know. Maybe it's like a driver option or something where he
Couldn't
has
tell
like
you.
the option to sign.
No,
with
no.
or not.
Our RCR has the option.
RCR has an option on it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, it's a 3-year deal. We're in year 2. For him to race next year, RCR has to pick up the option. Until RCR makes the decision, he can't talk to other teams. Blah 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 blah.
And yeah, so and based on the source that we have, it doesn't sound like Noah would be replacing Kyle. It sounds
Doesn't
like
sound like
sounds like it's a third charter. Is kind of what
it's a fairly good source.
yeah. It's
Not rock solid to be sure, but
it's enough.
How
we've
rude.
heard a couple rumors that have all come true.
Yeah. So
Starting to put a little more weight in that one.
yeah, that one makes a lot of sense in some ways. The other SHR drivers, do we have any idea? I mean, Briscoe, the 21 has been brought up. We heard
Briscoe
something
seems very likely for the 19, so now that 21 rumor kind of like
that maybe, yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
They were mentioning it on the broadcast today. Barry and
Harrison Burton's
Childers,
safe for another year.
Barry and Rodney Childers are still trying to stay together, so maybe that's a problem for some places. I don't know.
I don't think so.
I feel like there's got
I
to
feel
be
like
some place.
any team will take Rodney Childers. Any team.
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
literally
yeah.
any team would take Rodney Childers.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Maybe
Anything
he's not
else?
the best, but they certainly no 4-car team has somebody that like all 4 of their cars are better,
Yeah,
or 4 of their crew chiefs are better than Rodney. So
that's true. Stuart Haas may be still around in Xfinity and Cup in some capacity.
Yeah,
so
I heard
the
they were
4th
supposed to.
charter.
Yeah,
Haas may be holding on to it
that would be interesting.
and running a single car Haas team.
That would be
The
really
Xfinity
interesting.
sounds like it's staying around. The rumors is the Xfinity team is like sticking around. Like there's like a lot of stuff
That's
for
weird.
sale, like the Cup building and like different stuff like that, but like a lot of the Xfinity stuff is not for sale.
Odd. I heard they were going to come out with it sometime within the week about Xfinity stuff on
So,
the
like-
broadcast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be
Like pre-race, they were talking, oh, Cole Custer, what do you think? He's like, oh, there's a lot of moving pieces. We don't really know yet. But there should be some news coming out in the next week or so.
So what I understand, like
So we'll see.
the Xfinity
Yeah.
program
Keep
was
your ears
already
peeled.
built when Tony kind of I don't know if it was already built, but the Stewart Haas portion of the Xfinity is I don't think Tony really has a lot of eggs in that basket or ever really did.
Maybe.
So I could see them actually I could see Haas sticking around, dude. Actually, like for real.
I mean, he obviously still is into racing. He's into Formula One, so it wouldn't make sense.
There's your Chase Briscoe guy, by the way. Stay at Haas.
Could be. You think it would be him, or you think it'd be like one of the other ones?
Chase Briscoe.
You think so?
Well, it depends. If they stay with Ford, then it's definitely Chase Briscoe. Because
That's
Ford,
true.
Cole Custer.
Chase
comes up.
Briscoe is their guy.
Cole Custer.
Ryan Priest.
Right. please,
Definitely.
For sure.
Listen,
They
after-
take Harrison
Well,
Burton.
I mean, so that's what I'm saying. Is like maybe the Cup and the Xfinity, like it'll all be run by Cole Custer's dad.
Yeah, maybe.
I forget his first name, but
Mr. Custer,
Custer Senior.
Senior Custer. All right, so that's kind of all of our rumor mill. I don't think we had anything else in there.
I think that's about it.
That's about it.
Yep. We've obviously done questions throughout this whole thing. Do you want to do your little rant NBC is great. Fox sucks.
That's it. I mean, that's the rant.
Your rants are really short recently.
I mean, that pretty much.
it sums
it's
it
a
up.
synopsis to the whole thing.
Yeah. Let's do our question of the week. If you have a question you want to see us answer on the show, you could just put them in the chat because we've been answering them all night. Or you can send it to us on X or Instagram, TikTok, any of that stuff. Jake, do we have one?
Oh yeah, this is a good one. This is spicy.
Okay. Where did this come from?
The Kuz from Kuzman. Said, would you watch another racing series if it had tried to compete with NASCAR? Let's say if a few teams decided not to sign the new charter agreement, Hendrick, Gibbs, etc., as an example, and they teamed up with, like, say, somebody the likes of Ray and the IROC series, Ray Evernham, and the IROC series weekly. What are your thoughts?
Yes.
Yes.
I would, yeah.
Especially if it had big names like Stewart.
I'm not gonna lie, man. You lose Hendricks and Gibbs,
See ya.
NASCAR ain't gonna be the same.
No.
That's gonna hurt.
That would hurt.
You thought it hurt losing Dale Earnhardt Jr. 1 year, Jeff Gordon another couple years, Tony Stewart's a couple after years. But you lose Hendricks and Gibbs. Whew, good luck recovering.
That's rough.
Good luck getting your $7 billion TV contract fulfilled.
Yeah. No, I 100%. I mean,
We'd watch it.
We've been whining this whole summer. We're like, where's SRX? They completely
So
disappeared.
sad,
Yeah.
They had Cup drivers come in and run. They had prior winners come back. They had local short track champions come in. Like, it was a lot of fun. And I wouldn't say it rivaled as far as like ratings, but it was refreshing, something different. It wasn't the copy and paste NASCAR kind of feel. You know, if they wanted to put fun cautions in, they would. That's what they could do.
Yeah, it was fun.
You know? So yeah, if they decided to do another series, you know, and some people decided to jump ship, I mean, I could see it sounded like the Cars Tour was kind of getting close to that, but it's not. But last year there was a ton of talk about it. But last year there was a ton of talk about it. You know, all these big names, all these big industry giants jumping over to it to try to build it and bring it up. Hey, that's great. Keep going. But you still kind of need some of the big names too.
Yeah.
You know?
You need that draw.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
And on a once-off race, having Junior run it, that's fine, but it's not a week-to-week kind of thing. And I get it. They try to do their own thing. They got their own superstars they're bringing up. It's just, it's different. For me, it's different. It just is.
I agree. I mean, we would watch it. We watch IndyCar. We watch Formula One when we want to fall asleep. We watch IMSA to a little bit here and there. So I mean, like, yeah, if there's another one and half the NASCAR guys go there, I think we'd be all over that.
Yeah, probably.
Do I want that? To be clear, do we want that? No, because I think that's going to destroy, honestly, both of those. I mean,
I wouldn't mind teams double dipping though.
That would be more
like
interesting.
If you have like an IROC thing and like Hendricks or Gibbs gets involved with that and helps build the cars and like a bunch of their guys get to race it, like yeah, I'm down.
I could 100% see Trackhouse doing something like that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Put
they
Suarez,
got the drivers.
Yeah, right. Put Suarez over in that series and be like, here, go have fun.
It'll be interesting to see. I mean, that charter agreement, man, that certainly shakes up a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
It's not getting better.
Mark asked us, what about Haas and Dale getting together? No, that's not going to happen.
No chance.
Dale wants too much control, I think, for something like that.
Yeah, that's
I
Dale
think
wants
Haas is willing
control.
to give it.
And
Yeah,
then,
right.
obviously liking the SRX series. Yeah, the SRX series I thought was great. You know, it just, they started on, the first season was very different from season 2.
It was rough. The first season was rough, but they were getting a lot of kinks out.
Yeah.
You know, they had to change the car a little
I
bit.
felt like the season 2 was rough because it was all Cup guys that are used to just running the hell out of each other.
Yeah.
I liked it.
They just tore all the cars up. I felt bad for Tony Stewart. When I was looking at all his wrecked cars, I was like,
I forgot what NASCAR was. Why am I inviting these people?
Listen, all I'm saying is they should have
big
got
mistake. Should have bought the IndyCar guys.
Listen,
They didn't touch each other.
as long as they kept Paul Tracy. Once they got rid of Paul Tracy, the series got much better.
Wow,
Bro,
what
he was
a
an
menace,
animal.
bro.
He was an animal.
He wasn't an animal. He was a menace. I loved it though.
It was wild.
He was good for at least 2 or 3 cautions a night, like at least.
Anytime Deegan was on the field, he wrecked.
That's so true.
Practically a hate crime. Like, golly. It was egregious sometimes.
It was pretty bad. All right, let's move forward and talk about what's going on next week. So next week we're at New Hampshire. It looks like,
Jake's
right?
favorite track.
Yay!
Is this the one they give out the lobster?
Yes, it
The
is.
lobster. All right. Well, Hamill's gonna win it.
Even though he hates the lobster, I don't.
It's a love-hate relationship.
I'm
Trophy,
hoping
lobster.
this new tire and everything like is gonna make New Hampshire a lot better. I'm
I hope
hopeful.
it rains.
Oh yeah, facts.
Let it rain.
Yeah.
I think after this week and then North Wilkesboro, like I feel like we're like got some like positive momentum on the short tracks. I mean, Joey
agree.
Logano like kicked everybody's butt at North Wilkesboro, but I feel like overall like it was like trending the right direction. So
Yeah.
hopefully we can keep moving the goalposts that way and it'll be better.
I agree.
Yeah, we got Cup, Xfinity, and ARCA. No trucks still.
The ARCA, not sure.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well,
Probably,
there's at least
probably.
Cup and Xfinity,
Definitely no trucks. I know that.
and no trucks because boo.
Dude, trucks
Don't
would
they do
be
open wheel
cool,
there
right?
or something like that?
Yeah, I think there's the modified
modified.
Yeah,
race.
they do some modified.
That
race.
is a
That'll probably be on
freaking
Flow Racing.
bomber
That's-
race.
Yeah,
The
I heard
modified
that's really
series
good.
is wild.
That's by far the modified race in New Hampshire is the best race of the weekend. Not even close.
yeah.
It's basically New Hampshire is a super speedway for them, so they draft.
Nice.
No, I'm dead serious. They all stay together in a pack. It's sick.
That's wild.
Yeah. No, yeah.
I'm
The
about
fact
it.
that you're calling New Hampshire a super speedway
Yeah.
just blows my
No,
mind.
that is if you're gonna watch any race this weekend, like you got to put that one on the
And
radar.
if you play iRacing,
if they're racing there, I'm not sure
if
they
you
are.
if you do iRacing, modifieds are always some of the most fun things to drive. So
They're wild.
go to New
Chaos.
Hampshire. Yeah, it is. That's also very true. But they are so
I'm
much
not
fun.
good at it, bro. I'm not good at running 2 inches behind somebody around a corner 100 miles an hour.
I'm not either. That's why I don't do it because I'm just like, nope.
I like to watch the race, not be the race.
Remember that time we went to? Was it
You
me
thought-
and you? No.
You
it was-
thought Cody Ware made a lot of cautions? Wait until I get behind that wheel.
hey, you did pretty good those first couple of races.
Yeah,
I mean, they all wrecked like hell in front of you, but
I did the best I could.
it was good.
I felt like some drivers that just run into the other car for no reason.
Oh, the
I'm like,
ARCA
no.
brake. Your ARCA brakes.
One of these days, I'm gonna get mad on iRacing. We're getting there.
Yeah, we'll get there eventually. All right.
I'm too
Anything
good.
you guys want
They have to turn
to?
off the game.
Anything you guys want to add?
You can't go backwards. That's gonna be a
before
problem.
we kind of get out of here.
No,
No?
no. I mean, I pleasantly surprised. That was a good race.
Yeah.
Today that was
It
a
was.
good race. It was a good race all weekend. Weather really wasn't an issue. So, man, great success.
Yeah, with considering the drama of like the repave and kind of like the nerves with that, if it's gonna be good or not. All in all, pretty good weekend. Not
That's
bad.
what 3 for 3 for good repicks.
Yeah.
Wow,
So
What was-
far.
we're on to something proprietary.
Sonoma.
That flex seal's
Oh
working.
yeah, 3 for 3. Yeah,
Yeah.
not bad.
So, all right, guys, take it easy. We'll see you guys next week. Thanks for hanging out with us. Like, share, subscribe, do all that fun stuff, and we'll see you guys next week after New Hampshire. Take it easy, y'all. We'll see you later.
Peace.
Yee.